Hey everyone, Mike Lynch. Today's going to be a Q&A. So we got a question from Sherry on Instagram the other day, and she didn't realize I was a trainer for 25 years. So you got it, I'm an old man, and she asked if I've seen any changes in the fitness industry, and I guess she was alluding to personal training. So the answer is yes, I've seen a lot of changes. Some are bad and some are really good. So we're going to discuss both. Hey everyone, hope everyone is doing well. Mike Lynch, and we're going to do a question and answer today. So the other week I did a post on Instagram and I had Sherry, and her handle is, Sebastian, what's her handle again?
At FitMama48.
At FitMama48. So Sherry had a question. She didn't realize that I was a trainer for 25 years, which makes me an old man, Sherry. What can you do? Along with this gray hair and these wrinkles comes knowledge. That's the one benefit of getting old. So she said, wow, Mike, I didn't realize that you were a trainer for that long. Have you seen any changes in the industry? And I'm assuming that she meant the fitness industry, but also the personal training industry. And the answer is yes. So I'm going to talk about some of the bad things that I've seen and some of the really good things I've seen. Okay, everyone, Sherry, I'm going to answer your question, but beforehand, I'd like to give you a shout out. FitMama48, right, Sebastian?
Yep.
FitMama48. All right, so go check her out. Cool chick. Thank you, Sherry, for your question. And by the way, we've got a lot of questions. I'm going to be knocking these out one by one. So, the good and the bad. Let's get the bad out of the way, and so this way we can finish on a positive note. So when I got into the industry 25 years ago, you had a small amount of people doing training as a living. It was really kind of like this idea that you couldn't make a living in the fitness industry, and God knows I was one of them. I kind of got pushed into the industry. And that's a video because somebody asked me about how I got into the industry. So maybe we'll do that video next. And that's a pretty cool story. So really when I got into it, there was I only knew a handful of trainers. And the way we learned, the way I started was reading fitness magazines, whether it was Muscle and Fitness, Flex Magazine, Men's Health, Men's Fitness. There was no internet. I know that's hard for some people watching this to believe, but it was like you went to the gym, you worked out, you may have picked the brains of somebody that was really, muscular in the gym, you read these magazines, and then when I became a trainer, I was fortunate enough to actually start to train medical physicians, whether it were dentists, heart surgeons, you name it. I've regular GPs, I've had nurses, dietitians, and I really compiled my own education, if you will, through just continuous reading and picking the brain of these people. And then I actually became doctors and nutritionist mentor. They actually, after a certain period of time, I'd say about 6-7 years into my career, these very people started to educate and hire me to educate them, which was a very interesting thing for me. So back then, you had everybody getting in it for the right reasons, because it wasn't really believed that you were going to make a lot of money as a trainer. So now, unfortunately, a trend that I have seen is you have a lot of people that are into fitness, okay? And they do bodybuilding competitions or bikini competitions, and they think because they enjoy it themselves, now they're going to make a career out of it. And a lot of times, they may love to train themselves, but they just don't love being trainers. And they put this phony mask on, and a lot of times, I'm sorry, but they're misguided, and they're confused on how to even train themselves. And when you're a trainer, for the most part, you are not going to train fitness people. You're going to train regular human beings that don't do bodybuilding, all these things. You're going to deal with doctors and lawyers, regular CEOs of companies, stay-at-home moms, cops and firemen, and you name it. You're going to deal with average people that either have diabetes, a fake hip, high blood pressure, just want to look great for a reunion or the kid's wedding, and they can't get down emotionally with, starving yourself for 16 weeks to, get on a stage and flex. You know what I mean? So I see this butting of the heads where I've had many people call me up, email me, and they've blown through like 12 or 13 different trainers, and they're just frustrated. And there's a real black cloud over the personal training industry because of it. And these people can be great at training themselves and they can have great intentions, but they just don't know how to be good personal trainers. You know what I mean? You can be a great hairdresser, okay, and open a hair salon and it can fucking fail because you have to be a good hairdresser and a good business person. So, and this is for any industry. So just because you're good at a trade doesn't mean you're gonna be good in that business. You know what I'm saying? So just because you like exercise and you love nutrition doesn't mean that you're gonna be a good trainer and be able to really help people of a myriad of backgrounds. And I see that all the time and I hear about it all the time, and it's really disheartening because what we have is we have a lack of results, we have wasted money, and injuries. The injuries that I hear about and come through my doors is endless, okay? And like I always say, a bad injury is like a bad venereal disease. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Once you injure certain body parts, you're never the same. And you know, now you have trainers with their distractions, they're videotaping everything, and you know, cell phones aren't allowed to be turned on in my gym. They're not. So there's a lot of distractions and there's a lot of noise. And that, I'll leave it on this. A lot of the, like I said, a lot of the education, first of all, it's just too easy to become a trainer now. It was difficult when I got into it. But a lot of the education, there's just too much noise, right? Between the computer, the internet, the phone, the Instagram, you know, it's, am I a vegan, am I this, am I a carnivore, low carb, high carb, no carb? And the people that are supposed to be the professionals, they're freaking confused. So how are they supposed to help anybody else? You have a lot of people that are taking drugs, they have hidden eating disorders, and they're supposed to help other people. So it's a real nightmare for the consumer. And then you have a lot of trainers that just aren't trained properly. They may have great intentions, but they don't have somebody teaching the right way to how to be a trainer, and they get out of the industry, and then, you know, they're painting apartments, or they're, you know, doing something that is become a landscaper. That's what I actually did before I was a trainer, because they don't know how to make a living out of it, because all they know is like bodybuilding or fitness, man, and that's not what people are gonna come to you for, mostly, unless you deal with just fitness competitors. And I would say that that's not the easiest or the most lucrative way to become a trainer. So that's gonna be one of the real glaring negative aspects about being a trainer that I have seen. Okay, Fit Mama 48, let's talk some positive stuff now. Okay, so when I became a trainer, remember, it was a very small box career. And for the most part, you had, at least for me, I live in a middle income area, but I'm surrounded by a lot of wealth. Okay, there's many towns that surround my middle income area on Long Island that has a ton of wealth. So when I started out 25 years ago, I was all referral based, and most of all of my clients were millionaires and above. So training back then was a luxury item, and only the real wealthy were able to acquire or have a trainer. Now training has become so mainstream, and you have these smaller, well, they're not small, they're big gyms, and they come with their set of problems, but we'll talk about it in another video. But you have like these different tiers of gyms as far as size and cost. And because of that, that was not a thing when I was coming up. It was a couple of gyms, and that was it. You didn't have much to choose from. And like I said, there wasn't a lot of trainers to go around, so it was like people were always bidding for a good trainer. So now you have so many gyms, and you have so many people in the fitness industry, and it's kind of like, when you look at gyms, you have like the large, medium, and small, and you know, like a cup of coffee, and the price point follows suit, and so does the training price follow suit. Logic would tell you, if you know, you're paying real high premiums per month in a top shelf gym, you're going to pay upper amount for trainers. But if you go into a discount gym or one that's on a volume model and it's a small price point per month, their training is not going to be high end price point. Now, obviously, there's some issues that come along with that because for the most part, you do get what you pay for. But at least, look, you can go and buy a Bentley or you can go and buy a Hyundai. And they both have their value, I mean, look, a Hyundai might have a greater crash test or crash rating than a Bentley. And they got a 10-year warranty and they really can cater to more people. So I think that we see this with training now, where there's different tiers of trainers in different gyms and there's different price points. And although in the lower end gyms, you may have more rookier or beginning stage trainers, I'm sure there's trainers in there that have some good knowledge and they really are in it for the right reasons and they're well educated and they actually care. So it's really gonna allow people that aren't wealthy to have the luxury of having somebody like a trainer help them on their road to fitness. Now, it's actually more of a detriment for the trainer because those type of people that are in the budget gyms and stuff like that, they're not generally the kind of clientele that will stay with trainers for years and years. I mean, some of my clients, I'm so fortunate, have been with me over 2 decades. One of my clients was with me for 25 years, and I have 17 and 18 and 22-year-old clients, and but obviously these people have the financial means to do that. So if you're a trainer in these gyms, you may not have people sticking with you for a long period of time. Now, obviously too, you're gonna see trainers as they grow in volume and they're maxed out in time, because if you're a single one-on-one trainer, there's only so many hours in the day. If they're really good and they're progressing, they're gonna be humans and they're gonna wanna make more money, and they may either raise their rates if the gym allows them to do that, or they're gonna go to a higher end gym and maybe bring some of those clients with them. So there's a little bit of problems associated with that, but at least it gives the consumer a chance to have a trainer. Where back in my day, if you weren't wealthy, you weren't having a trainer. You just weren't. So it's really giving the consumer the opportunity to really have help. And that's nice to see, and I think we'll leave it at this, but I think just in general, and it's like more people are into it, so there's more demand. We are just seeing fitness explode like crazy every single year. If you're really in it to make a living and help people, to make a real living, and you're not pursuing an acting career, and this is something you just do on the side, or it's a way for you to camouflage your steroid sales. If you're to really help people change their lives, there's such a huge calling for it now, and more people that were never into fitness are getting into fitness. I'm talking about the consumer, and I think as a nation, because there's more trainers, there's more people that are inclined to hire those trainers, which are going to make more people exercise, which are going to make more people eat healthy. And I think it's a good, I always say there's bad vicious cycles and there's good vicious cycles. And I think it's a good vicious cycle where it's like this stacking of more trainers and more fit people, more trainers and more, and I think that that's the hugest benefit that I've seen. I mean, I know people that I knew when I was a kid and in my early 20s that were not into fitness, that are now into fitness in their 30s and 40s and 50s, and it's great to see. So I think we're just becoming more health conscious, and we're seeing more people working out and wanting muscle than ever before. And there's a lot of trainers that are benefiting from it financially, they're able to make a career out of it. When back in my day, like I said, it was kind of frowned upon. It was like, look, I've had my own family members be like, what? You want to make a living teaching people how to exercise? It will never work. So I think it's really been a win-win for everybody else. So that's it. There's some of the negative aspects I've seen and some of the positive aspects. So that's it, guys. I'm going to leave it at that, and we'll do more videos. Before you go, check me out on Instagram. If you're not already following me there, go there. okay? Because this is going to go on YouTube. I know this is on Instagram right now, but this is also going to go to YouTube. And for people on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification, because that's going to allow you to know about other videos that we do in the future on training, nutrition, personal training, mindset. We got a lot of knowledge that we want to help you with, and we're here for you. So make a comment, ask any other questions, you know, love me or hate me. Like I always say, I'm used to both. So I'm Mike Lynch, and I'll see you in the next video.